Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about 3 things you shouldn't do to your turbo Lincoln MKZ. You probably noticed that I said MKZ there. Since most of my followers are from the States, I'm going to pronounce it the American way, which is Z. It feels weird saying Z, but I'm sure a lot of you felt that way when I pronounced it Z. Anyways, hit that subscribe button and show your support to my channel. It has grown a lot and it's all thanks to you guys. If you're looking for automotive lights for your vehicle, check out Oxido LED lights and receive 15% off using my promo code, which is GMC Lincoln. I've been using Oxido products for the past 3 years and I have to say they are the real deal. They sell very good quality products at a reasonable price, so check them out. Last but not least, check out the Real Lincoln MKZ Facebook enthusiast group if you want to connect with other Lincoln MKZ owners. Let's get straight to the video. Now I haven't owned a turbo Lincoln MKZ before, but I've owned other vehicles that had a turbo engine in it. And one thing I didn't know is that the turbo vehicles require a little bit extra maintenance that you normally wouldn't do in a naturally aspirated vehicle. Number 1 is don't delay oil changes. This applies to all internal combustion engines. Don't delay it, but some naturally aspirated engines could go a couple of miles more, but ideally you want to get that oil change done on time. Turbocharged engines do not necessarily require more frequent oil changes compared to naturally aspirated engines. However, there are some factors to consider when it comes to oil change intervals for a turbocharged engine. Number 1 is higher operating temperatures. So turbocharged engines tend to operate at higher temperatures due to the turbocharger generating additional heat. These higher temperatures can cause the oil to break down more and potentially leading to a shorter oil life. There's also increased stress on the oil. The turbocharger can put additional stress on the engine oil due to higher speeds and pressure involved. This stress can lead to faster oil degradation and reduce lubrication effectiveness. And also the oil quality. So using high quality synthetic oil that is designed for turbocharged engines can help mitigate some of the challenges associated with turbocharging. High quality synthetic oils often have better temperature resistance and are formulated to provide improved protection under high stress conditions. So don't cheap out on your oil. You should also consider your driving habits. Aggressive driving, frequent towing, or consistently driving in stop-and-go traffic can put additional strain on the engine and require more frequent oil changes. So if you're one of those stop-and-go traffic commuters and whatnot, using your MKZ, keep an eye on the oil. I used to have a turbocharged Hyundai Sonata, and for one thing, the oil gets very dark very quick. My turbo went on that Sonata, and the first thing my mechanic asked is, when was the last time you changed the oil? Even though I changed it just a month ago before the turbo went. I can't stress it enough, but keep an eye on the oil in your Lincoln MKZ. Especially the 3-liter twin turbo, because there is 2 turbos on that thing, so your oil is working twice as hard to keep things clean and lubricated. Reason number 2 is something I did not know about turbo engines, and that is not to shut off the car immediately after a long drive. After a high-speed drive on the highway, it is possible that a turbocharger might be red hot, literally. So shutting the engine off immediately after a long run, such as when stopping at a gas station, might cause severe damage because the internal turbine will not have slowed down sufficiently, plus the extreme heat generated may not been given sufficient opportunity to dissipate. Always allow the turbo engine to idle for at least 30 seconds prior to switching off the ignition. Modern day turbo engines have dealt with this by running the oil pump and fan even after you shut off the engine, so that's great to hear. But on these older turbo engines, like one found in the MKZ, you should definitely idle for at least 30 seconds before shutting the vehicle off. Last but not least is something I see happen all the time, and that is not allowing enough time to warm up your vehicle before driving. I always warm up my non-turbo vehicles, including my Lincoln MKZ Hybrid, before driving no matter what the weather is outside. However, with a turbocharged engine, the turbocharger gains power from the engine's exhaust, which allows the turbine and the connected compressor wheel to spin. But if there's not any exhaust flowing through the turbo, the engine will not have the burst it needs when it originally starts. Starting a turbocharged car in the winter is also problematic, as parts of the turbo and the engine may be stiff due to cold and could scrape against each other if the oil has not reached them. The best option is to let the natural functions of the turbo engine work before driving. The oil will have time to reach the temperature needed to become thin enough to slide between these moving parts, such as the turbine and compressor wheel. It will also become easier for your engine to power the car and produce enough exhaust to start the turbo's functions and give you optimal performance that smoothly progress as you drive. I personally let my vehicles idle for about 40 seconds in the summertime and close to 2 to 3 minutes in the winter. Again, summertime I let my vehicles idle for about 40 seconds before I start driving, and when I start driving I make sure not to accelerate hard until my coolant temperature gauge shows optimal temperature. I know some of you might disagree with me here, but I always want to make sure my engine is healthy, so it is important for me that I warm up the engine oil and give the internal components time to expand to the heat before hard accelerations and whatnot. Let me know in the comments if you let your vehicles idle before driving. I constantly witness people in my neighborhood who have turbocharged engines who just start the vehicle and just mash the throttle down the hill without even warming it up. So they clearly don't have any mechanical knowledge and just see the vehicle as a form of transportation. Just remember that if you take care of your vehicle, it'll take care of you. It's basically like a family member. Anyways, if you follow these steps I mentioned in this video, the turbos on your Lincoln MKZ will last a long time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you all next time.